went south. Sear got burned. And Dax Lackey took home 10,000 plus with his first Bull Riders Only Tour win. Hang on, everybody. It's Pro Crunch time now on Prime across the world. It's the Wrangler Bull Riders Only Series. Brought to you by Roper Apparel, the greatest looking shirt you'll ever wear. And by Original Coors. Hello, everyone. We're coming to you from Tacoma, Washington in the Tacoma Dome, and the same place we were just a week ago. Matter of fact, we've kind of broken up the little tour that we talked about, Shaw Sullivan. We talked about the domination of bull riders. Dax Lackey changed all of that. But we changed something else. Grasshopper no longer has a clean record.
Well, you know, we did add a new name to the leaderboard, and Grasshopper is starting to look like he's a little more human than maybe he looked in the past, if a bull can look human. We're going to have some good matchups tonight, and one of the things I'm really excited about, we got Jim Sharp's going to be on 566 Blackjack. The key to him riding this bull is he's going to have to get him when he goes the other direction. He usually spins both ways. And when he goes to the left, Jim's going to have him handled. But when he goes back the other way, he's going to have to be in good shape. Got a rematch tonight with Jeff Cathcart getting on the same bull they won Tacoma on last year with Darrell Mills, and the same bull that he got on last night here. He's going to have to handle him also when that bull goes away from his hand. Terry Don West, the true mark of a champion is not how well you take it when you win, how well you take it when you lose.
There you go.
So we're going to have an opportunity to find out, does Terry Don really got what it takes when he's come off a bull that he had no business bucking off? Can he ride good after that?
I think he can. I think he can. His record shows that. He's a top money winner on Bull Riders Only. And speaking of money, we talked about the top people for the 94 year. It's Terry Don West again leading the pack. Adriano, he's in there in second place. You see a brand new name, Sear still holding on. Dax Lackey has moved in. He now is among the seated positions. And Jerome Davis showing at 5th place. That's the way it looks going into our show tonight. And we'll be back right after this with Bull Riding Time. Welcome back to the beautiful Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. Bull Riders Only. Handley Barrett along with Shaw Sullivan. And we're getting ready for round number 2. A couple of very important people. Our official judges, Lee Markholt and Chris Horton, make the decisions. Cowboy lifesavers is what we call them, bullfighters. Lloyd Ketchum and Rowdy Berry, there are no better than those two right there. The Samstown highlights as we look at it from round number 1. We look at the popular David Lance with an 81-point ride. And boy, I mean, this kid is riding so slick. So he'll be on the roster in round number 2. Boy, I tell you, the crowd loves him. Troy Dunn is a guy that comes from Queensland in Australia. And he's a tough man to get on the ground, as you can see by that ride right there. I'll tell you, that little black bull really tried him. That's going to be a 76-point ride for Dunn, and that'll bring him back as well. The in-house favorite is this man right here, Greg Ools from Chelan, Washington. And turning in the same identical score as Dunn did, that'll put him also on the list for round number 2. And boy, I mean, he was giving that bull a thrashing is what he was doing. Here's the guy that won the big money in the round with an 82-point ride. Boy, I mean, that bull did hang him out there. Adam Carrillo got right back in. Now here is the original Coors scoreboard. Adam Carrillo is going to pick up the win with an 82-point ride. Troy Dunn gets in there, Dave Leader, and David Lance. That's the original Coors scoreboard. Greg Ools, Smiley Sierra, Thurston and Wortman, they make the cut. Now the seeded people, and we talked about the 10 coming in, you'll see a couple of new names on there. You'll see some very, very familiar ones. Gavin Guy is an Australian. Jerome Davis is the man that conquered the bull Grasshopper at our last show. Dax Lackey won it, so he is back there in the seated position. Darrell Mills, Richard Rule, Jim Sharp, and Terry Don West. You know, our officials are very, very important, and Shaw Sullivan talked to Chris Horton about that.
I'm here with Chris Horton, who was the judge of the Tacoma event last night. Has judged about 15 of the Bull Riders Only series, and safe to say at least 100 PRCA rodeos. Now, last night it was kind of difficult between first and second, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The situation was we had one bull that was quite a little easier to ride than the other one, but the Cowboy rode him almost perfectly. And the other situation, Grasshopper was pretty hard to ride, and Jerome had a lot of trouble riding him.
Well, and that cost him on markers. Now, you look at degree of difficulty of the bull. What exactly are you looking at?
Okay, you're looking at how difficult it is to stay in the middle of the bull, and that would constitute how much the bull drops and kicks, or how much centrifugal force he has, or some bulls try to get him to the inside of the spin, and just overall how difficult it is to stay in the middle of him.
All right, well, sometimes you get adverse reactions from the crowd. I don't care what sports you're in, officials sometimes have to. Why do you think sometimes the crowd thinks it's a great ride and you disagree?
Well, sometimes a bull is really built up to be real rank or something, and maybe he's not. And or sometimes the crowd likes the real fast spinning bulls that really aren't that hard to ride, or something like that.
All right, well, that's Chris Horton, who's going to have another test in front of him tonight here in Tacoma, and we'll be back with more action from the Tacoma Dome.
We welcome you back to Tacoma, Washington, and we'll be joining Bull Riders Only June in 11th, Northern California. San Jose will be the stop there. You can see on the screen the number where you can gain a little more information and secure your tickets in advance. San Jose, June 11th. Put that on the calendar, if you will. Round number 2, we talked about our seeded 10. Also, the 8 that come back. Jerome Davis is the man on our last show that picked up the win, well, over Grasshopper, but not the win of Bull Riders Only. I guess there's a little controversy about that, huh?
Well, yeah, we're going to get a little test here as well. 36 Little Man, Bulls 4-0, bucked off Wolf Pup. Marty Stannard is going to be tested with Jerome Davis.
Oh, I wonder if he got this dude done. Now, you talk about a fuss. He is all over him. Davis tries to get up and out of there again. Rowdy Berry. I'm telling you, they were right in there. Lloyd Ketchum, he is out of there.
Let's watch that back again, because he gets in some trouble right out of there, makes the recovery, then has to make another one. He's into his hand, he's rocked out of shape, and he's going to loosen up and rock back over there. Now, you didn't see him lean back or anything like a Terry Don West or something would do. He got back over there, ends up into his hand again and in trouble. Hits the ground. Now, watch, this bull puts a foot on him. You kind of almost hold it in there as he hooks him. Now, it's a good thing for him that he didn't have horns, but them feet were stepping all over him.
Man, oh man. And then, after he almost made his escape, that bull is right back on him. Well, we had a chance to see what that bull is all about. You know, he had a lot of techniques. We're going to go to David Lance now. Here's the man that we've been talking about, the upcoming star, if we might use that term. I like the way this kid got there. Jordan, Dan Russell. This bull was really bad with Tavis on our last show.
Well, he's bad with David as well. He got hung out over him right to begin with. You know, he might have touched that bull as well, because he's going to kind of set up. You can see that he lost a little bit of concentration. But, you know, a bull like that, traveling the way he does, is going to cause the guy problems.
This is Shane Thurston. Now, Thurston drawn a rank full with Star 7, Western Rodeo Company.
We may rename this bull off and on, because he's either extremely ranked or he's been running off on people. And here tonight we don't see him in the best days of all. And then look at that, a huge sleep. You know, nothing will shake a guy more than a bull that's got a great reputation. He starts off though, he's not bucking very hard, so you get to relax him. You say, well, this is one of those days he's not having a good one. He balls up, takes a good big jump, and boom, knocks you down there, wakes you up a little bit.
You think it's going to work, and then it doesn't. So that's going to be a no-score deal. Richard Rule, Loveland, Colorado. Out of our seeded 10 is up next. If you have a good look at him right there. Crazy Train, the name of this bull. I think this is the bull that Wes Sear was on our last show. This is the bull that has all that belly roll in him.
A lot of belly roll. He rode him last time we saw him out, 73 points. You know, kind of the way it's shaking up right here very early on here. You're just going to have to make the whistle. We've got 3 on, 3 off. No score rides right now. Rich is going to get the tutor here. And no tutor for Richard. Got him away from his hand and locked him into his hand, brought him from left field to right field in a hurry, and barely had a chance to get going.
Boy, you know, you don't like a bull like that. Belly rolls, as we call it, and they are hard to handle. All right, now you see him drawing that rope up. Dave Leader is the man. Trying to get things started for us here. The Cowboys are behind us by 4-0.
4-0, 4 up, 4 down, and psychologically, he's just trying to get the ice broken here, you know. When you got that momentum going against you, you just have to swallow hard. I got to change things around for everybody right here.
This may be it. Warming that bull caught himself flat-footed. Might have been a free hand deal there.
Well, you know, he was absolutely there when the whistle blew, but he did absolutely hit the bull with his hand. Now, here's the question in the judge's mind. Did they get him for slapping him, or are they going to say it was incidental contact?
I think it was the first.
Yeah, I'd have to say that that was cheating, you know. Pretty much rules say you got to do it with 1 hand, and 2 hands ain't fair. So when he gets whipped down here, I admire him because he went on with it. Because sometimes the judges will say that it was incidental contact.
Yeah,
they may not really his fault.
You know, they may not be in a position where they can see that. Right there, he is down with the flat of his hand right on there. It's going to be a no score. It's going to be a no score ruling. So now, at the end of 5, we don't have anybody making the cut yet. Here's a guy that is so consistent. And what do you? I think he lacked $100, about $95, winning the World Championship last year. This is Daryl Mills, Canadian champion twice.
I'm gonna jump out here on a limb, and I'm gonna predict that he's gonna change things around. He's on T504 disc buckle. He's seen the bull many times before. I think he's gonna get along real good with this bull, and I'm kind of hoping that he's gonna have a good day because it's gonna be a really good bull ride.
Mills is there. He's running too far. I'm wrong.
Man, you know, I would have, you know, I jumped out on a limb, it broke. I'm gonna survive. But, you know, that bull had no business bucking him off, you know. Daryl, look at him shake his head. You know, he's a little bit disappointed here.
I'll tell you, he's very disappointed. He knows that he could have ridden that bull. Matter of fact, he had him halfway home, more than halfway home. Well, Mills is not going to ride the bull. It's going to be no score. So now it is 5-0, and we're going to be right back with more of round 2 on Bull Riders Only right after this. Washington. We remind you also that we'll be going to Dodge City, Kansas on June 25th for another of the important stops of Bull Riders Only, and this is by request of many, many fans out in the Plain States. So you'll be happy to know that we're going to Cowboy Country, Dodge City, June 25th. Check the number you've seen on the screen. You can learn a little bit more about that. Wes Sear is a good Canadian cowboy, and he's drawn a bull called Dos Amigos. We are 6-0 in round 2. We got to get this thing started. All right, now we have had double winners. We've had 3 of them. As we are looking now at the number 8 stop, this man has won 2.
We're going to need some of that magic to rub off right here. This bull's 2-1. The last 2 guys got on to Irvin Williams. And we need somebody to break the ice right here for us. And he's in trouble. He's in trouble. He turns around. Now he's hung up. He's got that leg over that hand. And that place, generally you end up underneath him. And that's got to put a heck of a strain on the guy's arm. He could have a bad injury there with his elbow.
Wes Sear was in an awful lot of trouble, and he was really trying to get out of there. Skip Ross, you could see him heading to his aid. Now watch right here. He rides right-handed, and if you buck off away from your hand, in other words, if he comes down the left side of that bull, and that's what's going to happen, he's going to be in trouble. He's trying to get his hand out, knew he was in trouble. There's that right foot hung right near where his hand's in that rope.
You know, he got slid off too fast to have a chance to get his hand out of that rope. And if I'm Dan Russell right now, I got my chest sticking out, and Dan Russell being a big guy, that's pretty easy for him to do because he's got 7 bulls that went out in a row, and he ain't had one of them ridden yet in this round. Usually we might have this problem in the final round. Now we're having this problem in the second round. We may not get one of those.
Well, Jim Sharp won the second round on our last stop here at Tacoma. Blackjack of the Western Rodeo Company is the bull he's got tonight. Sharp's gone. Sharp is gone.
You know, last time we saw him, the bull turned back into his hand, and he rode him pretty much on the inside of that rim. He was in there quite a bit the whole way. Now, you saw him 566 started around to the left. Jim was over there quite a ways again. This time, he was over there too far, couldn't keep a hold with his right foot, fell in there and fell off.
You know, Shaw, you talked at the top of the show about this match between Sharp and this bull. And the bull got him. Well, we're looking for our first qualified ride.
We have never, in the history of bull riders only, bucked off the first 8 guys in the second round.
16 stops on the tour for 1994. Move next to San Jose, California. We talked about Dodge City a few moments ago. Salt Lake is one of the regular stops, as is Wichita, Kansas. A new one on the East Coast, Greensboro, North Carolina, will be one of the stops in October. And then the finals, it will be the season finale, and it will be a doubleheader. It'll be the championship of the year, and that'll be in Denver, Colorado. Boy, that's going to be a great one. McNichols Arena. Troy Dunn out of Queensland, Australia. Chattahoochee is a bull. Okay. I'm thinking Boston. We've got the Carmen in the right spot now. Troy Dunn will ride this bull. There's no way he will not ride this bull.
He owns it. He owns it. Changing venue here. We just went from Western Rodeo Companies and Dan Russell's bulls. That was the first one of Flying Fives we saw. We saw how much Troy Dunn rode and hustled in the first round of competition, how much he scrambled and how good he was riding. He said he might be on the roll, and he certainly was the one to break the ice for us tonight.
Well, it's a score of 7-0, but the way things are looking right now, okay, we had 18. We had 8 of them down, so any kind of a ride is safe at this point. He'll be in with the 70 regardless. If they ride every bull after this, he's going to be in there.
Well, you know, the bull tries him real hard out of there, and then he kind of sloughs off during the middle portion, and then he gets a little bit ranker towards, you know, the last third of the ride, and then he kind of sells out again. Listen, 70 might as well be 100 because he's going to the next round.
You're right. It is that. Well, we're looking at the hand of Shannon Work. Well, this is a bull called White Lightning, owned by Flying Five. There are 2 White Lightning bulls here.
That's the bull that Buck carried on Westlock last year, got it from home. He did the same thing there, too. He hipped himself when he come out of there. See him when he hits his butt on the chute as he comes out of there, and that kind of got carried on off to the side the last time we saw him in Tacoma. Now, here, it doesn't seem to affect our man Shannon at all, but later in the ride, we still have problems. This bull's a big, very, very soggy feeling bull. And by soggy, I mean when he hits, he's feeling real heavy. Kind of like when you're walking in a marsh and you can't get your feet out of the mud. Very heavy. It gets pulling and tugging on a guy and gets ahead of him real easy. And that's what he did here to throw Shannon Wortman off.
We're gonna have a little different camera angle on it here. See if we can find out where the problems came from. You see, the bull is, as you said, he's mighty heavy. You know, he doesn't really throw that head an awful lot, so you really don't have any kind of a guideline to know exactly what he's going to do with that front end.
A lot of bulls will gather a lot better with their front feet when they hit the ground. That bull right there is hitting pretty stiff-legged. That means he's hitting real hard, kind of like throwing some bricks off the table. And it's giving him a lot of jerk and jolt. And he was having difficulty with that, and it got him kind of sitting back a little bit.
Myron Dwork waking himself up a little bit as he climbs over that chute, trying to get the attention level high. This kid comes from Colorado, and he has been riding so well. Redhead of the Big Man Rodeo Company is the bull that he's on. I guess I'm really not updated with that. Well, we had him on our last show, but I don't remember exactly what he did.
Well, he bucked off C.L. Johnson is what he did. He bucked off C.L. Johnson in a hurry. I know I was talking to Myron the other day. You notice he's one of those guys who's been wearing his vest. He's got the flak vest on just to protect him. Interesting note, one of our telecasters in Rapid City, South Dakota, will hook you very hard and back. Very similar to the nature that we've seen some guys use a lot. He didn't even know he got hooked. And I'm going to tell you that it's going to be the norm important that these bull riders start wearing these kinds of things because we don't want to see people get hurt unnecessarily.
And I think the pros pioneered through a program like Bull Riders Only. You know, we're talking about something that could be awful helpful for the high school contestants in the earlier stages of this rodeo game.
Yeah, I believe last time we saw Myron Hadley, you were telling us that you saw some real sparks in this guy. We thought that he could really ride. And we just got the ice, so to speak, broken. Maybe we're going to ride a bunch of them after this.
We're ready for this. You see, he thinks right during that ride, but I don't know what the problem is. We're on a bad road.
I'll tell you the problem. You got in there a little bit. That bull whips that big horn right in front of your face, and you got two choices. One choice is you're going to just have to consciously say, okay, I'll eat the horn, but I want the whistle. And the other one is, as well, I'd like to keep my teeth. My dentist doesn't need a new country club membership. I'll do something different.
That old bull has got a little of that Watusi blood in him. You can tell that by the shape and the size of those big horns.
See, now the bull goes into his hand, and this is maybe ordinarily a recoverable position, but if he's right there, he's in trouble, and then that horn's coming around there, the guy's got to decide when to check out and fight another day.
Well, let's try it again. Jeff Cathcart. He comes from Cheyenne. That's Cheyenne country. Cowboy country. Spotted John, Flying 5 rodeo guy. This is a bull that we talked about him on our last show, in that he normally doesn't elect to spin, but he is so wild and scattered. It appears to me that he's an awful tough bull to try to figure out.
The last time we saw this bull, we saw this man on his back. He went to the left first, and he was riding easy, went away from his hand, which he has difficulty with, and it bucked him off. We'll see if he's got a different game plan. Now we're going away from his hand to start and getting him back. Jeff has a problem with not riding the front end when they go away from his hand. He has difficulty trying to get that arm out in front of him and get over that front end when he goes away from his hand, and he has no problem with it when they go into his hand. Spotted John goes up on him 2-0, and the trend continues.
Troy Dunn is looking awful good with his 70 score. You know that?
Oh, I mean, he's looking like a champion. When we watch this again, you'll see what I'm saying. He's not really reaching out over that front end as much as he should. He starts getting that arm back past parallel, which sets him back off his rope, sets him to the outside of the spin. And when you ride a bull, the mechanics of leverage here that you have, if that bull turns and if he goes to the left, for instance, and he gets a little bit off the right, he has the leverage of his arm being on that side, and he can whip his other arm and all that weight over there. Now, as this bull goes to the right, all his weight is already over there. It's got to stay over there. If it gets on the outside of the spin, he doesn't have much to throw over there. It's kind of helpless. It's kind of like playing football, being a pass receiver, and going out there and catching, not having any arms. You just don't have nothing to handle it with.
Well, it's a tough way to go. Rank Bull, and we're going to be back with Terry Don West with more Bull Riders Only right after this message. Well, I mean, the energy is high here in the Tacoma Dome. And you can see that Troy Dunn, with a 70 score, is leading this thing. They're doing the wave. There's about 10,000 people in here, and they are doing the wave. You know what they're trying to do, Shaw Sullivan? They're trying to change the karma in here because we're past halfway through round number 2, and we have one successful bull ride in this round.
And I'm not so sure the wave's going to do it. I think we need voodoo dolls, beads, and magic potions here.
I tell you what, there is Michelle. That's Terry Don West's wife. And she says, I'll be the cheerleader because my man is going to be the next gunner up. If we're going to break this thing up, why don't we pick on a guy that has a 70% plus success rate and the top money winner in the history of bull riding? Is that a pretty good way to do this?
I think that's what we're going to have to rely upon. You know, he coming off a little bit of, I think, disappointment in bucking off the last time he was out here in Tacoma. That bull had no business bucking him off, and he did. And we're going to find out, you know, what he's got inside of him. He's got the highest ride percentage of anybody in the Bull Riders Only series, 81%. He has the highest win percentage. He's been the most 90-point rides. just go on and on and on. I hope going on and on and on don't hex him, but this is where we got to turn things around. The bull he's getting on, he's definitely within his capabilities to ride.
You know what he did this afternoon? He came out here to the dome. He went into the TV truck with our director and studied that ride to find out what he did wrong. Now, does this guy make this a business or what?
Oh, he's into it big time. You know, he's got bulls at his place. He rides them all the time. He bucks out kids at schools all the time. He's getting on a bunch of bulls all during the week because he loves just getting on bulls and he loves being good at it. Now, one thing you will notice, he does not tie on that glove. And that's got a lot of controversy in and of itself. The bullfighters don't particularly like it because sometimes when he gets thrown off, he gets a little bind in it because his glove's not on there secure. Gets a little bubble in there, and then he has a hard time getting off. He carried on like it because he don't want to let go before it's up.
That's right. He'll worry about that after he hears the sound of that horn.
Jim Sharp said, boys, if I had guts, I'd try the same thing myself. But sometimes when I'm in trouble, I like getting off.
All right, Terry Don West. They'll be with it. Oh, no. I mean, the bull had him the second jump. It looked to me like, I don't know, Terry Don West is a little shaken. You know that?
Yeah, it looked like it hurt Terry Don there. I'm not exactly sure what happened. We're running back again. Maybe we can get an idea what exactly happened here.
I think he misread this bull.
He was right on the hip to begin with, into his hand right away to begin with.
I have no idea why that bull got the advantage on him so quick. We look at a little different angle there. Well, he just hung him right out there to the right.
Hung him right out there, and he was just looking off. I mean, he didn't make the typical recoveries we're used to seeing Terry Don make, and, you know, he seems to be grabbing at his groin. It looks like he's holding the inside of his right leg, and maybe he's got a problem with the legs and the ribs. Maybe that's what hurt him here. You got to be disappointed. I mean, this bull's got no business bucking him off. You know, psychologically, it starts to affect you.
Now, you know that this crowd, and we talk about Tacoma. This is the original site. This is the original site for Riders Only, and they are concerned about this man. Take a look at that audience. Well, I'll tell you what, they are concerned.
It does not look serious, but at the same time, we're going to really have an effect on your performance.
Now you can see the concern on Terry Don West's wife's face as he gets back to his feet. They're taking him out of the arena now. You know, Michelle made the statement a little earlier tonight that Terry Don misses the competition, the intensity that the tough heat put into this thing. And I know there are a lot of fans that wonder about the recovery of Tough. By the way, he's doing well. But Terry Don kind of considered him a hero of his, wanted to ride as good as Tough did. I think he's accomplished that part of it. Well, we'll hope that he is all right, and if we learn a little bit more about his condition, we'll bring that back to our viewers. Smiley Sierra, set to go now. Sierra on Bear Swahila. What do you call this bull?
They call him Bear Swahila. We don't know what it means. Maybe it means he's just a wild bucket, because every time you see a bull named this from Flying 5, he's a wild one.
Well, I'll tell you, there's some bad karma in the house tonight. There are bull riders in positions to ride these bulls, and I don't think these guys can figure it out. You know that?
You know, sometimes when you get the momentum going, and we talk about it time and time again, when you get a lot of zeros coming up, when you get a lot of people getting bucked off, the circumstances that it's very, very difficult to come back from that. You look at this bull, he's got a lot of roll. And really, quite frankly, I'm not sure it makes a difference tonight. I think the bulls they've got the thing, the momentum going. We rode a lot of bulls here the last time we were in Tacoma, and now the bulls are reigning supreme. You watch this bull, he's doing the rolls, he's going back and forth a little bit here, kicking under his belly, then he'll take a pretty good lead, and he'll kick out. Then he'll kind of duck out underneath you and go to the right.
Well, he had a pretty good belly roll, as we call it, that really got him, that delivered the final blow. Well, Gavin is a great personality. And he comes from Australia. He's already built quite a fan base here with our Bull Riders Only fans. And maybe he can turn this thing around. He was one of our seeded top 10. And Dandy Dan, the Fine Five Rodeo Company, is the bull. You know, there are days, Shaw, when pass receivers cannot keep their fingers on a pass. Their quarterbacks will be an inch off. There are days that it won't work. You know, you're trying to go right at the pin when you're a pro golfer and you end up going in the sand. And I guess that's what's happened with these Bull Riders here in round 2.
Well, given that, I'd have to characterize this as Denver in the Super Bowl right here because they're getting blown out.
I don't know why you had to bring it up. Okay. No, come on. No, he lost his rope.
Now look at that. If that doesn't tell you how things are going tonight, he's sitting square dog in the middle of that bull.
Right.
And then his hand comes out. And I can't tell you why for sure that happened. And Gavin looks like he may be a little bit bummed up too.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Now, how does that happen? How does that happen?
I don't know, and everything was, in control for this guy. But it was a moment ago for Smiley Sierra, too. He was looking good. Now, granted, the bull has got him hung out there to the left, but then he comes right back in, and just as he did, out pops his head.
Well, you can see when you watch that again, the bull starts getting his rope a little bit early, which is usually the case. Starts rolling it to the end of his fingers, and when he rolls to the end of his fingers, he's just trying to hold on with everything he's got, and, by the time he gets jerked on again, it's gone.
Maybe this can turn it around. Dax Lackey, on our last show, dominated things, and he picked up nearly $11,000 total, and he did, more importantly, pick up the win.
Well, right now, the situation is that if the only qualified ride's Troy Dunn, he's the champion. He can't ride against himself in the final round. 71 here is like 1,000. I mean, that's all he's got to do. And here's the guy. The place is going nuts.
Oh, they are. You hear the thunder. I mean, it's rolling. Everybody's pulling for it. If he makes the whistle, if he makes the horn on this bull, you're going to hear this Tacoma Dome, unload.
Now that's just like Dax. This guy, he's a very, very smart kid. He's going to make sure it's right. He kind of took that rope back out of him and he adjusted it. The bull was leaning on him a little bit. When the bull does that, sometimes they kind of blow up the belly a little bit, or sometimes they kind of suck in a little bit. And when they stand up, they blow up. And when they stand up, suck in the gut a little bit, the rope loosens and tightens.
Right.
And he made an adjustment right there. And he wants to make sure it's right. Maybe it's just the pressure he's feeling.
He saw this bull when he was at our last stop here at Tacoma. Jerome Davis had the bull in round 2 and rode the bull for something in the high 70s, as I recall.
Well, I remember the expression back when they used to buck. The last Tacoma was back when they used to ride. This is the same set of bulls we've seen where they rode, 12, 10 in round 1, and then it came back, and in round 2, they had a full slail, or full slot, in the final round, 10 rides. And, coming into this, nothing's changed. This is the same guy, and the same bull.
Lackey is still having trouble on this bull. Fatigue sets in that riding hand when you have it in that rope drawn up a little too long. You start getting slammed around in that chute. You break your concentration, and all that pump goes right out the window.
I look at it like those guys who walk off in the cut. They sit there and they get ready for a cut. Everything seems to be fine. A fly flies on the ball, or a fly flies on the face, and they decide to do something different, so they back off.
Hey, now there's a great kid. That's Justin McGee. He's the in-house announcer. There's one of the bright young stars of our game. And I'll tell you what, this kid's a communicator. He's got this audience on his side, and he's going to try to do something for Dax Lackey. He's going to try to turn this thing around. Justin's doing a great job.
Well, if they rode all the rest of the bulls that are available, they'd have 4 in the short round, and this would be very similar to what we had in St. Louis in 1992. We had only 4 people make the short round in St. Louis in 92. But they're going to have to ride every one of the last ones in order to accomplish that.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they're just not riding much. I don't know what to say. This bull has not bucked anyone yet off. This bull is 0-2. This is bar 1, holy smokes, flyer 5. He's been ridden both trips we've seen him. So, I don't know. Let's say a little voodoo chant.
Yeah, well, we realize also that Dax Lackey right now has a chance to do what has already been done this year. And that is back-to-back wins. He's going to have to get by this bull first. And we talk about a little disappointment. Maybe we're a little disappointed they're not riding more bulls than they are. But you know, in the dome here, these folks are having a great time. You know what? There's nothing but smiles, hoops, hollers. They're having fun.
Well, you know, if they ride everything that goes out there, that sometimes makes bull riding look easy. And when the bulls are getting the best of them, then, you know, it makes it difficult, which it is extremely difficult. And remember this now, I mean, you got to tip your hats to the bulls because they're really performing here. I think Dax is going to ride this bull.
I hope he does. You know,
oh, man. Just as soon as I get it out of my mouth, jerk the rope out of his hand again.
I had to wonder if he spent too much time. Did he try too hard to prepare? Maybe he didn't go with his normal instincts. I don't know. I guess we've talked about everything that could go wrong with the bull rider's game plan because we've seen about everything go wrong.
Well, you know, maybe these guys just can't get any rosin in sticks. You know, these guys warm their rope up with a lot of rosin. He was not in the greatest positions right there, but he was sitting a little bit back on his pockets. But still, you know, these guys got sticky rosin on there. They're supposed to be able to hang on to that rope. And we've seen, what, 4 or 5 ropes get jerked out of guys' hands tonight?
Yeah. You know, and we've used the term bad luck repeatedly. I think maybe we need to pick a little stronger word than that. You know what? Maybe that's the deal. Okay.
And we should try something different. This is like the second half of the Denver Broncos in a Super Bowl game.
Adam Carrillo is a man that's already on a roll. I'd have to say things are going his way because in round 1 he got on the wrong bull. He scored 74, would have brought him back. He had to ride his correct bull. So what happens to him? He scores 82 and wins the round. Jim Sharp, who's already out, he's up there helping him out. Carrillo should be on a roll. He should be on a roll. He's gone.
Well, there you have it again. You know, the first round, he was jacked all over the place in that bull. He made some tremendous recoveries. And, you know, that shows the guy's really working and being sharp. And he comes out here, gets in a position where he needs to try one of those recoveries again, and it ain't in his pocket. It's not in his game plan or his playbook at the time. There's only one guy now, Greg Ools of Chelan, Washington, a hometown favorite, a hometown guy that can contest Troy Dunn to win this event with a 70-point score.
You gotta be kidding me. And you know, it almost sounds like it would be staged because he is from Washington. As we have another look at Adam Carrillo, he was having trouble all the way. Boy, he is disappointed. You know he's very disappointed. We talked about the fun this audience is having. And again, may I remind you that the next stop is in San Jose, California. That's Northern California, and it'll be the first time for bull riders only there. So all of you fans around San Jose, get ready. Okay. I'll tell you what, things are wild. They are wild.
Have to just change luck and then say there's no way he's going to make the whistle. Maybe then he'll make the whistle.
I think there's 10,000 people in this dome would disagree with you.
Chelan, Greg Ools rides very good. Bull is undefeated in bull riders only. He has not been beat. This is last bull. He's obviously feeling his ocean. He's trying to jump out of the fence. He's getting a little unruly in the box already. Crowd's on their feet. You know, we don't even have the final round. Nothing happens here, you know. What do you do? Put Troy Dunn against himself? I say we pit Troy Dunn against the stock contract.
I'll tell you what, I think you could do. I think maybe you could move a house with a moped easier than you could ride a bull in round 2. The way this thing's going. Okay.
Well, he's taking the wrap. He's getting ready. The crowd's juiced. The music's running.
Do you know that this event in Tacoma has never been won with a 90-point ride? And this is, what, 4th, 5th time that we've been here? Right now, Troy Dunn's sitting on a 70 score that couldn't do that.
70-point ride.
It's going to happen. Oh, come on, Troy. Come on, Troy. Come on, Washington. Talk to your man a little. Talk to your man a little bit.
Yes.
Listen to this audience.
That's all it took.
Oh, they're coming to their feet. I knew if it was going to happen.
Listen to these people go crazy for their guy. 78.
And this is just to qualify. This is just to qualify for the final 78 score.
Look at that smile.
Yeah,
He didn't get by that bull easy either.
I know it. He finally did smile. 78 is the score. Oh, man. I mean to tell you, look at that. He says, I can't believe it. Now watch. Do you know, I hate to say this, but he got in trouble at one point on this ride. Everything looking good here. That, you know, that old bull doing a little hop and skip, and now the nasty stuff is starting to show up.
Bull's got him off. He's riding back. And at one point here, he gets off his rope pretty good right here, and he's just leaning over, stays off his rope. So the bull kind of just takes a little skip there, stays off his rope, and just kind of, you know, he gets hunched over and then tries to stay on.
You know, Shaw, let's take a look at this again, and I think we have a little different angle on it here. You know, he came so close, and I'm not making the call that he touched that bull by any means, but so close, came so close to touching. Watch right there with that left hand. Well, was the forearm down there? I don't know. You really can't tell from the camera angle that we had. Our officials, obviously live and right on the scene, they're the ones that did have an awful good view of it. The most important part is that we have a 78 score. We have the qualified ride that we were looking for. And that's him right there. He's getting ready for the championship round. This is the first time in the history of Bull Riders Only that we have only 2 in the finals. And we'll be back with that exact concept right after this. All right, welcome back. It's the 94 Wrangler Bull Riders Only. We're in the championship round, and we're into history of Bull Riders Only. We have 2 men. We have 2 men in the championship round. Here they are. These are the bulls they've drawn. Greg Ools is from Washington, so this audience is wild. White Lion of Dan Russell, the bull that he's on. Whoa! I mean, slams him down.
What are the odds of these guys showing out of 6 bulls to get, you know, 19 Grasshopper? We saw him go the other night in Tacoma, and we saw the problem with him. Grasshopper didn't have his day. The 2 Buckiness bulls that recently from these 2 guys is this bull right here, who gets into it right away with him, gets him off his rope, bucks him off, and K9 Dogface. Now, what are the odds of them drawing it? Does that not tell you how it's going?
That will tell you that there are some very, very weird things in the air tonight. We're going to have another look at this. Now, you see this bull has really been throwing the power. I mean, he has been throwing the power, and he's doing it here. He drags Greg way back off his rope. He is down for the count. So it's 1 up, 1 down, and we have 1 to go. So whatever you do, don't go away. We'll be right back with that ride after this. Here in Tacoma, we also alert you to our June 25th stop in Dodge City, Kansas. That's new on the tour. It'll be at the Dodge City Fairgrounds, as you see. And for further information, you can call the 316 area code 225-2244 and learn a little bit more about that. We're going to go now to Troy Dunn. We are halfway through. We are halfway through the championship round because we've tried 1 bull. What's the situation, Shaw? Ools is down. Dunn's in the driver's seat now, but what if they both tuck off?
Well, Troy's in the driver's seat now, but he's going to have to get by K9 Dogface. If he doesn't, then we got to go back to the second round scores, and Greg Ools becomes the automatic winner.
So he has to be rooting for Dogface here because he's got a $10,000 check in his pocket if Dunn don't make the home.
Well, you know, and this has never happened in the Bull Riders Only event yet. We've never had to go into an overtime round or anything like that in the regular. K9 Dogface, undefeated. Never been ridden in a Bull Riders Only.
Oh, look at that! Look at him ride this bull! Look at him ride this bull! Oh, he's going to be there!
He was trying so hard.
Well, now that's
trying that.
Oh, now that's a photo finish. I don't know how they're going to call that. I don't know how they're going to call it, and we may. It's going to be a no score. I don't know, Shaw, if we're going to get a chance to get the time clock from our official, but look at that bull.
Look at that. He gets him strung out in shape. Goes into his hand. He's going to be out of shape here. He's going to just start hanging on. We call that the day money drag here. Because in a lot of these rides, to get a check, you got to make the whistle. So that's what he's trying to do, is get a day money check. And you hear the crowd going crazy right now because they just found out the hometown boy, Chelan, Washington, Greg Ools, with a 78, is going to take home $10,000.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, the Tacoma Dome is wild. They are wild. Look at that audience. Look at the smile. Hooping and hollering.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, a win is a win, and I don't care how you get it. You know, we've seen some of these things. Tuff Edelman says sometimes he rides bulls by winning ugly. Well, winning is winning. And $10,000 goes in the bank, no matter how many points you scored and make it happen.
It's going to be wild, and we'll be back to talk to him right after we stop for this word. Well, here in Tacoma, we have the Roper Ride of the Night, and Adam Carrillo comes about this in a very unusual situation. We had talked about it a little bit earlier on the show, in that he had gotten on the wrong bull. He'd come in with a 74 score, came back on this one. But I mean, that bull did lay him out there to the left, off of that rope. He won the go-round with an 82-point ride, and you can see why he earned every point of that. That's an awful lot of hustle for that young man. The Roper Ride of the Night, Adam Carrillo. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm here with Greg Ools, the winner of the second half of our doubleheader here in Tacoma, and I'd like to tell you I'm excited standing here, going to give you a $10,000 check. I got to be honest, I feel a little weird. You won by default.
I'm kind of weird. It feels weird to me, too. I mean, everyone's patting me on the back and won $10,000, but I'm disappointed I didn't ride that last bull. And I mean, it's not like I rode better than Troy. I just had a little better bull in the second round.
Well, you know, when you look at the second round, let's give credit where credit's due. Watch this ride. Helter Skelter wasn't no easy trip.
No, he was a handful, and I just kept my hand closed and stayed in the middle of him. I was happy to ride him. He wasn't easy to ride. I mean, he wasn't showy either.
Well, you know, I tell you what, you'll trade that 15 on your back in for a 5 in a seated position, won't you?
Oh, I sure will. I mean, 3 in one night really takes it out of you. I'd rather ride 2 in one night.
All right, well, with our winner here in Tacoma, Greg Ools, go back to Hadley Barrett.
Well, Shaw, it was a wild night, and Ools is going to come from nowhere into 5th place in our standings. Matter of fact, looking at the standings, you'll see tonight Ools picks up the win. Troy Dunn in a very, very unusual concept. He'll pick up the 2nd place. But overall, for the 94 year, Terry Don West still up top. But look down there at number 5. Ools makes it in. The Wrangler Bull Riders Only Series has been brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks, our official truck that we drive. By Award Design Medal, the official buckle of the Wrangler Bull Riders Only Series. Shirts provided by Roper Apparel. For Shaw Sullivan, this is Hadley Barrett. Join us next time on Prime when Bro goes to San Jose, California.